It'd be so easy to come here and say, hey, tariffs are not pro-growth, tariffs are not pro-business, tariffs are potentially inflationary, they raise the cost of goods in the United States, they potentially cause the Fed to act. All of those are true, but they miss the whole point. Look, the president talks about reciprocity. We haven't had a trade policy. The markets are selling off on the basis of fear of retaliation. That's why the markets are down. The reality is, fear has been driving our trade policy for the last few decades, especially as it relates to China. So this conversation needs to be had. We need to draw a line in the sand. Wall Street doesn't like it. They don't like the lack of free market. They don't like the lack of pro-business. You get a president, he uses Wall Street as a scorecard every day. He's very mindful of the market reaction. That's one thing I can assure you. Look, Neil, at the end of the day, what's been driving CEOs' optimism, small business optimism, Main Street optimism, all of which has an underlying positive tilt here, has been this not only tax cut and pro-growth agenda, but also the lack of regulatory burden. And I think that's the piece that gets missed in this conversation. We talk about turmoil at the White House. It doesn't change Main Street. People are still renovating houses. They're still building factories. They're still trying to find skilled labor. So all those things go on. They've become immune to any of the turmoil that they perceive is not economically related. It's not economically driven. So you've got a pro-growth agenda that is very much in place. A lot of turmoil, a lot of distractions. And Main Street and Wall Street will ultimately screen that out and focus on corporate earnings. We're playing chicken with China. That's what we're doing today, right? And we'll get through that. We'll get past it. At the end of the day, I think there's confidence. That's a negotiation posture that hasn't been in place for the past few decades. We're going to get comfortable with that. Then the markets will realize it is very limited economic impact and all will be okay.